Hello diary people, how you doing? I look a bit like Hitler now with this, so I might have to get rid of it soon. I want to introduce you today on our learning expedition. See it as a journey, if you will. A journey of sight and sound. I want to introduce you today to one of the main stresses of long distance work. Doesn't count if you're not doing that much distance or anything, but let me introduce you to one of the stresses. Right, over the last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, first 2 days of the week, so far, and I'm not even done Tuesday, I've done 1,174.1 kilometres, which is something like 246, probably about 650 miles. And the main stress is driver's hours. In a 6-day working week, I get 2 days where I can drive for 10 hours and 4 days where I can drive for up to 9 hours. The 2 days I can drive for 10 hours is called a lifeline. It's basically, I refer to it as a lifeline. You shouldn't really, I try to avoid planning for those 10-hour driving days to be part of my day. They're supposed to be there so that if I get into any major difficulty, then I can dip into them as and when. However, they've had to be part of my day for the last 2 days, so they have. And the other thing is within the 6 days, you have to have every day 11 hours of rest, but you can reduce it 3 times in a 6-day working week to 9 hours in a night. 9 hours for daily rest, and then at the end of the 6 days you have to have 45 hours break, or again that can be reduced. With the reduced daily rest, with the 9 hours instead of the 11, you don't have to pay that back. You don't have to reimburse that by having an extra long rest, but on the weekly ones you do. So here's my problem. Monday I drove for 10 hours and had a 9-hour rest. Tuesday I'm going to drive for 10 hours, but I'm not going to make it back as far as I need to, even with a 9-hour rest reduced. Everything's going to be pushed back. Wednesday, that means I'm only going to be able to use 9 hours, which means that because I'm not going to get back far enough, it's going to put me behind before I've even left Sedgensworth for Manchester tomorrow. So I'm going to be 2 hours behind before I even leave. So that's 7 hours of driving. So in 7 hours of driving, I have to get from Sedgensworth to Manchester, and as far back as I can, which will probably be Sedgensworth, Manchester to Cheveley, which means that on Thursday I'm going to be 3.5 hours behind, which means I'm only going to have 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.5 hours, which means I'm only going to get to Manchester on Thursday. I'm not going to get very far back at all. I might get as far as Kiel services on the M6 southbound, but that's about as far as we're going to get. So I'm going to be absolutely done by Thursday. So basically, I'm running out of hours. I've done it to the max, and there's nothing I can do. Welcome to the stresses of being a transport driver. All the while, your transport manager is there going, "Why can't you do this?" Don't get me wrong, my transport manager is a great bloke, and it's not his fault. It's his manager, and his scheme of what needs to happen. Keep telling him to go more, but you can't do it. You only get your hours. You can't do any more. So I'm pushing it, but it's a bit stressful. But today we've had lovely weather, glorious weather. I'll only do what I can do, so if I can't do it, then they'll have to send another driver. Also means I might get to go home. I haven't been home in 2 days, and I was supposed to be tramping for this whole week, but it's a speed camera. But it's a little bit, you know, I don't know, you know. It would be nice if it was London, or no, I take that back. It'd be nice if it was Luton, or Cheveley, or Oxford, because then it would just be straight up, straight back, no problem, no worries, no sweat. But unfortunately, one of the stresses of being a lorry driver is restricted hours. And idiots like you who keep doing things like that, PE12WVV. Ooh. I've got a Ford. It's the biggest car on the road. It's one of the Cougars. I can do whatever I want. Yes, mate. Well, I've got an Arctic, and it weighs 44 tons. And it's huge, 54 feet long, mate. I think I'm bigger than you. I might have trumped that one. Sorry, I'm getting my attitude on. That's what I'm doing. I'm getting my attitude on. Anyway, I'm going to leave you to a lovely evening where you guys can do whatever you want. Your hours aren't restricted. Have a good time. It's going to be awesome. And be safe, be seen, wear a high vis. They should have someone at the entrance to every transport depot doing that. Be safe, be seen, wear a high vis. Check it out. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. Anyway, I think I'm starting to lose my mind. So, good night.
Claim the men, aid from Oxford.